Hello, how are you? This is Michał Gamrat from Kraków. I would like to introduce you to my plugin for Autodesk Maya, mgNodes, a small framework for processing points based on nVidia CUDA technology. Enjoy! mgScatterPoints node is a base node for the whole plugin. It computes uniform point distribution on a given mesh. Connect bounding box and outMesh from object-shaped node to mgScatterPoints node. Next, connect outPoints attribute to mgDisplayPoints node. You can adjust display options in mgDisplayPoints node. Change radius attribute to achieve desired distribution. Any mesh modification forces node to recompute new points distribution. Interactive frame rate is maintained during addition. Algorithm picks samples from randomly distributed points on mesh. To append all random points, select Add All option. mgScatterPoints node produces uniform point distribution with no oversampling, but still undersampling can occur. To achieve more accurate distribution, randoms multiplier and trials count can be increased. Plugin requires graphic card with compute capability 1.3 or higher. It is possible to scatter points only on selected faces. Check Selected Faces Only option to True and type polygon's ID separated by comma. mgPoints rotation node computes rotation for every point. This rotation is utilized by Maya instancer. Check appropriate option in mgDisplayPoints node to draw I'm direction vector. Node computes rotation based on RGB color value. Red element defines lean, green defines circulation, and blue defines up vector. I'm direction will point to the target defined by the node accordingly to the surface of the mesh. Adjust random attributes to achieve a non-uniform look. Points rotation can be defined by changing vertex color values. To prevent recomputing points distribution, duplicate source mesh, connect it to mgPoints rotation node and paint rotation colors on copied mesh. In addition mode, gray does not change points rotation. Rotation modification is computed based on the difference between painted color and gray. Manage vertex color layers in mgPoints rotation node. Adjust weights to achieve desired result. Maya texture node can be utilized to define points rotation. Set up appropriate network using mgPoints UV, mgColorBuffer, and Maya texture. mgColorBuffer node performs serial calculation, so for big amount of points it can slow down playback. mgNodes attribute named outPoints can be connected to instancer node. Instancer utilize information computed by mgNodes. In this example, mgPointScale node. mgPointScale node provides basic scale control and random functionality. Scale can be controlled by color value. Connection setup is the same as presented in mgPoints rotation chapter. We can select points based on their attributes. To select points, specify condition in mgPointSelection node. If you want to add some specific points, you can add ID in condition string, separated by comma. Color-based selection is possible. Method is the same as presented in previous chapters. To create animated selection effect, variables can be defined. Create variables in mgPointSelection node and compare point attribute with variable value. Use dot product condition to select points placed only on polygons facing to the target. Adjust dot product range to achieve desired selection. mgPoints object ID node provides functionality to set points object index value. ID can be selected by random based on given probability. It is possible to select points based on an object present in 3D space. This feature is useful in cases when we want to blend point attribute values depending on position of an object in world space. In this example, IM direction attribute is blended between two sets of values presented in viewport as green and blue arrows. mgPoints container can be really useful when working with big amount of instant geometry. To achieve interactive frame rate during work, we can select only part of points, reducing amount of instance geometry. Plugin provides special emitter designed to cooperate with points computed by mgNodes. Connect outPoints attribute to emitter and attach it to nParticle system. IM direction attribute computed in mgPoints rotation node is required to emit particles properly. Use mgPoints container node to emit particles from selected part of points. Single emission mode can be useful to achieve some specific result. mgNodes can be integrated with nParticle system. Current video example explains how to transfer particle position to points computed by mgNodes. mgPoints transform is a simple node that applies matrix transformation to points. Any mesh deformation forces mgscatter points to recompute distribution of points. As we can see, it is not possible to use static distribution based only on mgscatter points node. To make points stick to a deformed surface, we have to use mgplant points node. If we'd like to recompute aim direction vector, check local aim direction option in mgPoints rotation node. Now we can deform a mesh that is connected to mgplant points node. Position and rotation of points will get recomputed. Main part of the plugin requires graphic card that supports nVidia CUDA technology. It's not possible to use it on render farm, which consists of CPU-based blades. To maintain that use case, mgPoint cache has been developed. To prepare a scene for sending it to render farm, select desired mgNode that possesses outPoint attribute and click on icon to display cache setup window. Adjust parameters and create cache in a given location. Next, unload mgCacheNode shared library and load mgcache, sequential plugin that does not require CUDA. Now, in a new scene, you can create mgPoints cache node, read created cache and connect output to the instancer. mgNoise node is a simple deformer that applies Perlin noise to the mesh. Deformer provides typical settings for this type of node. In this example, I created park environment, focusing on grass behavior. Using mgNodes, I scattered rocks and different type of grass blades on desired ground parts. Using Maya texture nodes, I defined grass animation. Finally, I set up an emitter to create interaction with rocks. In this instance, I use mgPlant points node to distribute feather on bird's body. Bird looks a little bit fat and silly, but I hope you understand it's just an example. I'm waiting for feedback. If you manage to use my plugin in production, please let me know. I'll be happy to hear that. That's it for now. I hope you find something interesting here. Have a great week. Bye.